And my point is that conviction is not based on empiric proof. There may be empiric data that's part of her conviction, but it's not based on empiric proof. But this assumption that real knowledge has to be established empirically, one, there's no empiric proof for that. So it's a ridiculous idea in the first, right off the bat, you know. But two, let's just get practical, right? Let's just get practical. And you know what I want to do, Raghunath?
What?
I want to. I think this would be an interesting essay to really examine, and this brings in another interesting topic, right? Murder, right? Like murder investigation.
It's always one of the
I got your attention
topics
now, right?
early in the morning on our podcast.
I got your attention. but if we took murder investigation and like maybe even famous murder investigations and saw like and began to examine how much of the proof was like empiric proof. Like in others, like there's DNA proof.
Interesting.
Right?
Now there's DNA proof. They're catching people from like 20 years ago with DNA proof.
But how many murder convictions are based more on testimony, right?
Right.
Or based more on a logic, using logic to determine the motive, the suspect, how and when the act was occurred. You know, there are different types of evidence. Empiric evidence is one type of evidence. Testimony is another. What are all the different types of evidence? And how commonly do we develop strong convictions, even convictions to convict someone and imprison them for a lifetime or even death?
Or the death penalty, just on some testimony. From someone with imperfect senses.
But it's strong enough to be beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's my point, is that to believe in God, you don't need empiric evidence that's beyond a reasonable doubt. You won't get that because you won't find it empirically. You won't find consciousness empirically. You won't find the soul within the body empirically. But there's a hell of a lot of other types of observation that can be used to help us develop that conviction, and as well as testimony, which we see, because you made this point earlier. You were talking about Shabda Pramana. The Vedantin says that actually, if you get the testimony of a really qualified witness, you get really good knowledge. Mm-hmm. And they have a conviction that the Veda is that. And then they apply their senses to understanding that and observing this world and see how it fits. And you can develop that kind of conviction, that strong kind of conviction that I am not this body, I am not this mind.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Govardhan Hill in India, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator of the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show. Today's Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. It's episode 1695. Good morning, beautiful people. We're here live at Govardhan Hill with we call it the Bhakti Bunch, the leftovers, the stragglers, the focus, the dedicated ones who just want Bhakti. And today, Kaustubha, us and our good friend who's also been on the show before, you can Google it, Krishna Goswami, took us to Barshana for a whirlwind tour of Radharani's pastimes, and it was wonderful.
He's such a great soul.
Insider information. Oh, and I tell you, when he speaks...
Now Raghunath has the insider information.
I can help you.
Secret.
Help you with secret stuff. It's not for the masses, Kaustubha. No. Okay. But maybe I'll talk to him and see if you're qualified. It's so sweet, though, because he knows the place like the back of his hand. He grew up in Nandagram, so he knows the people. He knows the places. He knows secret places. He knows the
He's
stories
from the other
you've never
village,
heard before.
though, right? It's like Nandagram.
He's from the other village.
And Varshana. They're kind of like brother and sister.
Yeah, they're like secret enemies, but they're frenemies.
Yeah,
they're because
one's
it's
Krishna's
the, boys,
neighborhood and one's Radha's neighborhood, and then
exactly, and they play like that. But they come together and do bhajans. You know, it's last time I was with him in Nandagram, just hearing all the village boys. I probably mentioned it on the podcast back then, a couple of years ago. But it is just like they were getting ready for Holi. And the Holi festival is just singing and singing songs. They break out the special Holi drum. And it is like, it's like, wow, this is like they have special songs for Holi. They're all
Holi the
psyched about the
time
pastimes of Holi.
Is Holi the time where all the men from Nandagram go over there and then the women take out the sticks and they got the shields?
Yeah, the women take out the sticks and beat them and the men have the shields. Yes. And
But
that is a fiasco. Wonderful.
Okay. A beautiful fiasco.
Yeah. But anyway, it's almost like, wow, this is like a whole parallel Hare Krishna movement. That's what it's sort of like. It's like they're singing Krishna songs, but songs we don't sing. You know, they do have the morning puja, but slightly different than the way we do it. They have their deities, we have our deities. It's just like, it's like a parallel spiritual movement.
Parallel world.
And it's so refreshing to be with him. And he's a young man, and the man has so many Krishna conscious stories about Krishna's Leela in his skull. It's
born and raised right at the foot of Krishna's home. And more or less all the people in the village identify themselves as just part of Krishna's family, right? And and that's, you know, but he's unique because he's that full-on, you know, Brijbasi, you know, born and raised local resident of Braja, family member practically. And at the same time, he was raised in the ISKCON Gurukula in Vrindavan. So that gives him a lot of international kind of, you know, he's been informed internationally and everything too. So he's
brilliant. He's well spoken in English.
He can communicate
and in
really
local
well.
dialect.
Yeah.
And he has so much feeling and bhav for these stories.
Oh yeah.
And he's trying to explain something to me. He goes, sometimes you study this stuff. He goes, I meet so many scholars and academics who are like literally doing the word for word translation, but they're missing this underlying mood of the story.
He relies a lot on the songs, right? Like the poetry when he shares, you know, these leelas.
Yeah.
He quotes from the great Bhakti poets and their songs and so on, and it really beautifully illustrates them. Wonderful soul.
He says so many incredible works describing moods of cowherd boys, and they've all been written, but in Braj Bas, and they've yet to be translated too.
You know, this is where Vedanta ultimately goes, right? We can sit here and get into the, you know, the depth of the philosophy and the nitty gritty of all these details and trying to understand consciousness and breath and prana and all these things. But really,
raising your kundalini.
There's so many things.
Got the crown chakra. Boom.
But really, it all culminates in this sweet varieties of love, and he's just absorbed in that. How the cowherd boys, the love that they have for Krishna, the love that Krishna has for Balaram, the love that Radha and Krishna have for each other, the gopis and the cowherd boys, and Krishna's mother, Krishna's father. Really understanding that is understanding the greatest secret, where Vedanta ultimately leads, is when you're just serving Krishna with a heart full of love.
He was mentioning that today, right? There's a pastime that Krishna took him to Vaikuntha. Krishna took the cowherd boys to Vaikuntha, right. And there is Krishna, but he's worshipped in this such pomp and reverence, and they were like, "I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here now. I don't like this." In Barshana, it's like the idea of intimate dealings with God. That's the bhakta. That's the jewel of our lineage. Intimate dealing. It's not like God is important. God is all powerful. God is worthy of our love. It's the worthy resting place of our love and our focus. But the Krishna bhaktas, what's unique about this lineage is we want Krishna off duty. We want Krishna intimate. We want intimate dealings with Krishna. And that's the Vrindavan mood, as opposed to anybody else.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what Sri Chaitanya came to share. And and sometimes I think devotees debate and they get into the it's not that the details aren't important. You know, Rupa Goswami, what he shares in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is he's showing how the love that Sri Chaitanya came to share, which is the love of the residents in Vrindavan, this intimate love, how it's practiced, how one practice developing it. And there's details to that, but anyway, I won't get too into it. But my point
Well,
is
I'll get
this.
into it. I'm going to get into it here. I'm going to get into the 6 unique Braj pastimes, Kaustubha. Are you ready for this?
Well,
Buckle up.
If I could make my point, if you don't mind.
Oh, I thought that was it. I thought you said I'm not going to get into it. I was like, all right. Well.
No. I'm not. My point is this: is that when we're following Srila Prabhupada, from day one, we're being directed towards making that love of the residents of Vrindavan our goal in life. That becomes our desire, right? That type. This is called Raghunath, right? That I want that type of love, not the reverential love that may be there in Vaikuntha as you're describing, but I want the way that these residents in Vrindavan love Krishna, like a lover, like a friend, like a intimate parental love. That becomes our goal right from the beginning. And when we're hearing Krishna's pastimes, we're cultivating that. That is Rag Anuga. It's following their love, their raga, their specific intimate attachment. And Krishna's the kind, sweet friend of every living entity. And when that becomes our desire, well, he fulfills the desires of his devotees. So my point is that we're moving in that direction, even right from the very beginning when we're reading Prabhupada's books and understanding Bhakti through his presentation. Now, please share about your 6 leelas or what do you have? What are you talking about?
6 unique Braj pastimes are
Yeah.
my takeaway from today's class today. There's 6 unique Braj pastimes. One is
Hold on 1 second. Where's this coming from? Is this your own categorization?
Chori.
Huh? Or where did you learn
6
this?
unique Braj pastimes according to Krishna Murari, the Swami.
Okay. All right.
Okay, there's Chori. Chori
Chori.
is stealing.
He steals.
Yeah, this happens in Braj. Stealing.
What does he steal? He steals butter.
It ignites your love. He steals your heart. He steals the clothes of the gopis.
He's a thief.
He steals the butter. He steals the yogurt.
Okay.
The next one is holy. Holy.
Okay.
Yeah. He says what would be considered adharmic outside of Braj would be considered dharmic in Braj.
Yeah,
so
it's kinda
stealing out.
They're stealing, and then holy is like fighting. Right.
But yeah, imagine if someone came up to you, you're walking down Manhattan, right, and I come up behind you with a squirt gun or one of those what the exterminators use, they spray poison, and just nail you with a straight line of blue water, a syringe. You'd be like, in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, you're on the way to on the way to the office, just wham, and then all I say is holy. Right? You would.
And then when you get to the office,
any New Yorker would lose their marbles.
And when they would get to the office, they would be like, "Oh, you got to change right now," right? But in Vrindavan, they would be like, "Oh, look, you have that nice blue line right across your face. That's wonderful."
Yeah, I got this last year. Last year I got shot with holy, and I still wear this shirt. You said the gun is called a pikari in Hindi.
Oh, Raghunath throws up. Raghunath, you're sharing us 6 incredible things. He steals. He fights with the colors, and we lost.
Anger's a horrible
Raghunath,
thing.
you were gone. You were gone for a while there. You
Really?
froze for a good 10, 15
Oh, I said
seconds.
there's man and there's man, which
Raghu?
is anger. And can you hear me?
We lost you for about 10, 15 seconds there. So we heard that the holy, we heard the chori, and what's the third?
Then there's man, which is anger.
Gets angry.
And anger happens in Braj, but it ignites your spiritual life. Whereas anger in the material world gets you arrested, perhaps.
Okay.
Right? It can lead to something like that.
Steals, fights, gets angry.
Then there's
What else?
Don.
He
Then
gives
there's
charity.
Don.
Or bribes.
No. Taxing people, right?
Taxing, okay.
Just like you're driving on the highway and you're like, another toll booth? And you're like, where is all the money, going? You cross the George Washington Bridge and there's tax. And the taxing is like making you furious. It's like $15? Come on. I'm just trying to get to work.
And in India, I don't see it anymore, but we used to see it all the time. Right? You'd be driving along a road, and then just some people would just create their own.
Make their own mystical toll booth.
Yeah, they would put it like a tree.
India's
They'd
cleaned
have
up
like
in that regard now.
a tree trunk that they would like just kind of like lower and stop you.
A tree trunk would come down, and they just like start taxing you for stuff. Like, is this your road, or just you live nearby?
Who
When I was
authorized
in
you to
line
do
earlier
this?
for the restroom with Katie, there was a little girl who was trying to take tax from me for using the washroom, which sometimes there is like a cost to use the washroom, but she was just like a little girl who was like trying to hustle me. Yeah, totally.
Little Rich Bossy.
So easily.
Okay.
The next one is rasa,
That's,
intimate relationships, right?
Okay.
Intimate relationships, sometimes
also
forbidden
also
intimate
considered
relationships,
Forbidden. Yeah.
right? And there's rasa, and then there's vilasa, just like other types of adventures and desires.
That's kind of catch-all
You know,
category.
well, yeah, it's like you have a lot of material desires in the material world. You want to go skydiving, you want to go parasailing, you want to go bungee jumping, you want to go, just things that sort of, in the bigger picture of things, divert you from your joy. This just complicates your material life, But in the spiritual world, those desires are fantastic, and they get us deeper and deeper and deeper because they're all somehow connected with Nandalala, Kaustubha. You should be here with us, Baba.
All right.
The Bhakti Bunch Part 2 is really, we're like cut free now. Tomorrow we have Secret Places at Govardhan with Krishna Murari Goswami.
Raghunath, you're getting carried away now. We got to start the show at some point. You especially like secret,
Yeah.
don't you? You like to know something
like
that others
secrets.
don't know. True?
Well, yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I do like
Yes, I do.
secrets.
And then you
Secrets,
like to
like
wave
treasures,
that
like-
in front of people's face and say,
No,
"I
just
know
you.
some-"
Just you, Baba.
Okay.
What was that thing I did to Kaustubha we were laughing about the other day? I came back from something.
last
I
year
got
you
secret
got it.
instructions by Uddhava
Buddha
Baba.
Baba.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I got secret. I was late for the show, and you were really mad at me. And I was like, I'm sorry, I got secret instructions. And then you're like, okay, well, let's get on with the show. I was like, don't you want to know the secret instructions?
And then you
they're
forgot
secret, I
them or
can't
something
tell
like
you.
that, right?
And you were like, you were just like in one of those, I'm sick of this guy mood.
You were late for the show because of it.
Because in your world, that would have been adharma to be late. But in my world, it's dharma to get secret mystical instructions from sadhus. Don't you understand?
I wonder, in your guru's world, is that dharma? Why don't you ask yourself that question?
I think it is, Baba.
I think it
is. Baba.
Why don't you ask him that question? How's that?
Oh, Baba.
So you get more secrets tomorrow?
Okay, so anyway, we have a quick change of schedule because of I don't know if I'm in the kirtan or being asked to come to the kirtan, but whatever it is.
They wanted you on stage, they told me.
Okay, we're doing there's a big kirtan festival thing with Indrajimna Swami and Satyananda Maharaj and Radhika tomorrow at Kusham Sarovara,
Oh, that's
which is like the home of Uddhava Baba.
So our next show will be Saturday.
Saturday, and I might have some more secret instructions for you, Kaustubha, to help you.
Saturday at 7 a.m.
They wouldn't
Them
be
to heart,
truly
and you
secret.
approach in a humble mood.
They wouldn't be truly secret.
Well, I'll tell them to you privately, but you have to approach in a humble mood. That's all I'm asking, and that's because the
I don't
Bhagavad
think it's
Gita
worth it.
demands that. Oh, Kaustubha.
Oh, Josh, you're out of
All right. No show tomorrow. The next show will be Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Well, we got a nugget.
We're gonna be in mysterious Bhartpur with our new favorite third wheelie, Zeb, from Pittsburgh.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay. Our nugget today comes from Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson.
Do you know who that
Actress,
is?
Right?
She's on the. Isn't she the one on the X Files?
Yeah.
Yes.
All
that's
right, I know a famous person.
You never.
you go.
I had to Google her.
Did
I
you
think she's
watch
really
the X Files? Were you into that, Raghunath?
I
Seems
don't
like the
really
kind
watch
of thing
TV
might
that much,
interest you.
but I think I watched a few episodes because I like weird things, like paranormal.
Right.
I like it, and I'm scared of it, and I like it more, and it's real. We visited a mystic in Jaipur, and he was blowing minds left and right. Right? Everyone's like nodding yes.
Well,
Yeah, he was freaking people. Some people came. Sorry, some people were crying.
Oh,
Yeah,
Raghu, what
you
did
gotta be careful of these
expose
mystics
people to?
because
Govindaji, Gopinath, they're right there. And
yeah, we
some
went to
scary
Govinda,
mystic.
and Govinda sort of inspired us to go meet a mystic.
I don't know if that's what Govinda
Kaustubha,
told you.
God comes in all different forms. Come on,
Govinda, he was right there.
I know, and Govinda gave us the blessing.
Then why was he making people cry?
Explore the mystic world.
I don't know if that was his message. Raghunath. I think it was Sarvadharma
You gotta
Prithaja
listen.
Mum
You
Ekam
gotta quiet.
Sharanamraja.
You gotta quiet to hear God's whisper, my friend.
He says it right in the Bhagavad Gita. Mum Ekam Sharanamraja. Just take shelter of me, not some scary mystic.
It's
per
all
se.
book knowledge with you. It's all book knowledge.
That book knowledge is Krishna. It's not different from him.
Zip this and listen.
That book is it's not an ordinary
all right,
book.
back
It's
to our
Krishna.
nugget.
All right, Nugget. Let's hear it. Gillian
So
Anderson.
our
what's
nugget
she-
today.
Gillian Anderson, what type of wisdom does she have for us?
She writes, or she
Isn't
says,
it amazing? Gillian Anderson is on the podcast.
you love her.
I do.
You
I did
love
love
her,
her.
Raghunath.
You know that type of love of like, when you see a picture
You
with somebody,
love
Seems like you
her.
love
Love
her.
her.
Yes.
I love
you
her.
love.
You love her, Raghunath.
I could
Just
love
admit it.
her.
Okay.
She says, I believe in reincarnation. I believe in
Boom.
reincarnation. I believe we're here to learn and grow.
That's something I would say. I think we would be a good match, me and Gillian.
The love deepens,
believe the
Mara. The
same.
love deepens.
What else is she going to say? I love jujitsu.
I love men who do jujitsu. We choose how we come into this life based on what it is we have to learn. Some people have harder lessons than others.
Exactly what I believe.
There you go.
You guys are a match made.
It's
We're
a
a match
in heaven.
made in Svarga.
In the well, they don't not the Twilight Zone, X-Files, huh? What do they call it? The FBI. Maybe you should have joined the FBI.
I would have
Oh, you
loved
would've
that.
liked that.
I would have loved that. It would have been just like the show, I'm sure.
Very similar.
All right, what do you have to
You
share
know,
about her
who was that?
thoughts?
David Duchovny's been in my yoga class. David Duchovny's taken my yoga class.
Hey,
Isn't that cool?
another one of your glories. Did he share any secrets with you?
I am not privy to say,
Okay.
but let me just share this with you.
Oh.
There's stuff out there. There's stuff out there that you can't, beyond you putting in this little box.
Right.
Go on, Mara. Is that it?
That's it.
I believe in reincarnation. I believe we're here to learn and grow. Okay. We choose how we come into this life based on what it is we have to learn. Some people have harder lessons than others. That is like Bhakti Gillian Anderson. She sounds like she's right out of the Hare Krishna Bhakti program, doesn't it?
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me what she's saying. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that, is the ABCs for the Hare Krishna movement is like stuff that legitimate people believe, not just fringe
Okay.
society. It's just becoming more and more acceptable that there's alternative realities, that, the soul is eternal. At one time when it was a weird thing, we were locked into either atheism or Judeo-Christian concept of spirituality. Those walls have been broken down, right?
I'm going to check something
When
out
I
right
first
now,
heard of-
Raghunath.
What's that?
Let's check
you got?
ChatGPT. How statistically has belief in reincarnation increased in the United States over the last half century? Are you interested, Raghunath?
I'm
Somehow
very
it didn't-
interested.
Somehow it didn't come out. I got to do that again. 1 second.
Try it again, Kaustubha.
Let's try it again. Over the past half century, statistically, how has belief? It's not registering for some reason. Maybe America can try it.
You got to prepare these.
it's because of my
ChatGPT things
microphone.
in advance, Kaustubha.
I didn't know you were going to go there, but it is a good. It is. a
I'm
good
ready to
question.
go there. When I first heard about reincarnation, it was like the puzzle had just clicked together. The Rubik's Cube sort of just came together, and suddenly, like, life made sense. Why some people are born into comfort, others into chaos. Why some people learn their lessons early in life, and some people keep repeating the same mistakes. Why some children seem enlightened, and some children are just like, almost like have this trauma that they can't get out of, and they're caught in a cycle. You know, for me, understanding reincarnation, it like wasn't just a belief system. It was like finding the missing law of nature, the skeleton key, the combination to the gigantic combination lock, you know, the wall safe, right? You know, some of us are in kindergarten, some of us are in grad school, but everyone's got lessons to learn. And it's been my observation too, some people get harder courses in the school of life. And it's not like it's necessarily harder. It's just like, this is the combination. It's going to be, you know, 20 numbers in the combination lock instead of just 3 numbers. It's a harder climb, but this is exactly what they need to liberate themselves from this world. And using the school analogy again, like the lessons of, you know, like you're going to school, like you're in a classroom, it's like some people stay back. Some people get left back a grade.
Right.
You know, it's like that game, go to the head of the class. You ever play that game?
Go to the head of the class. I'm not sure.
It's like a board game when you're little. But anyway, it's like sometimes you got to stay back and you can't graduate. And we see people make similar mistakes again and again in their life, in their month, in their week to week, sometimes in the same day. I did it again. I can't believe I did that again. I overate breakfast, I overate lunch, I overate dinner. Ugh.
They don't learn.
What do you think?
I'm with you, Raghunath. I got some statistics here. They're weak statistics, but they're saying they're giving their best estimate here. That from the 40s to the 60s, it was under 20% of Americans believed in reincarnation.
I thought that was pretty big. 20%.
Well, we don't. Under 20% could be 1%. We don't know. They just know that it wasn't.
Point.
It wasn't up to 20%.
It wasn't.
They say in the
20%.
60s and the 70s it grew to around 20 to 25, and in recent years it appears to have gone up to closer to like 33%.
That's it? No. I don't buy
I would think it'd be
that,
more, but I'm not sure.
I think it's more. I think it's more.
Could be. But, you know, in any case, I like where she's going. I don't know what her beliefs are, where they're derived from, if it's her intuition or if it's certain spiritual tradition that she follows, you know, or certain books that she reads.
Truthfully, I think it's the distribution of the Bhagavad Gita by the Hare Krishna movement. Maybe I'm being too bold to say that, but I will say there's a lot of people like yourself pounded the pavement, distributed Bhagavad Gitas to the masses.
That book coming
people,
back, you know, a lot of those went out. That was a real clear book on reincarnation, right?
Yeah, and those lead you to other books that maybe exclusively focus on reincarnation, but a lot of books went out, and I'm sure if you passed out 20 Bhagavad Gitas in a day, there's probably people like, I'm going to buy this book because I don't want to deal with you anymore, Hare Krishna man, and they just got rid of the book, or they threw it on a bookshelf, or they just gave it away. But there's a person, then there's the people who are like, yeah, this makes sense, I want to be a Hare Krishna and move into the ashram. Then there's the people who are like, I'm going to take this thing, I'm going to read it, I'm going to digest it, I'm going to make films, I'm going to have it part of my life, and part of my thoughts, and part of my dreams. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of films. We always quote The Matrix, but there's tons of films out there where they deal with the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita in some fictional backdrop and scenario. And, of course, like hers, this whole metaphysical world, The X-Files. That was a good show, by the way.
Okay. Well, what it makes me think of is, like, and by the way, we're in our, we're back studying the Gita again this month for our Gita Collective. It's our November month, and the theme has been the vision of the Bhakti Yogi. You know, what they see, how they see, that's different, or what they see that others don't see. Secrets, Raghunath. Yes, and
yes.
And, you know, in that 15th chapter, it talks about how all the living entities in this world are eternal, fragmental parts of Krishna, right? They're Krishna's energy, but they have their own individual existence, separate existence, and free will, and how they're struggling very hard with the senses and the mind in this world, trying to find pleasure.
Mamaivam so jiva loke
Loke,
jiva bhuta
Sanatana.
sanatanaha. Eh?
Yeah, yeah, and they're struggling with a false sense of identity. They're struggling trying to satisfy these senses, and based on that struggle and that search, and the actions that they do in the search for this kind of material happiness, they create karma, which creates reactions, which creates new bodies, and they carry their conceptions with the mind from one body into the next body, and they take the next birth, maybe even in another species.
All right.
And
I'm going to give you a mission
no, can
right now.
Go
Go
can
to
I
the
ever
15th
develop
chapter.
a
I'm
thought
serious,
here?
Baba. Yes, I'm trying to help you elaborate on that thought. Elaborate.
I
I'm
had my
assisting
own.
you.
I don't know if I needed your help.
I know, and this is not the Kaustubha show. We're a team here. So I'm saying you should.
That much is clear.
I
At
think
least
you
the
should go
first
to the
part.
15th chapter of the Gita.
Yeah, I'm there right now.
Go and read those 3 verses, right? All in
I
a
was
row.
go- you
They're
see?
such powerful verses.
I'm right here, Raghunath. I'm right
Now
here.
I'm thinking like you.
Yeah, you are. But I was just going to read this verse because I summarized that
You're
now,
wel-
and I was just going to read this verse. Text 11, 15:11.
Okay.
The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try.
Great.
Okay, so
These are great verses.
these are great. So someone like Gillian Anderson, it sounds like I'm kind of seeing it all come together. I use this. I'm using this. I'm kind of this morning. I was kind of developing this analogy. But like, say you're walking down a New York City street, and you just kind of see what's happening on the surface level. People are moving around. Here's the street. There's traffic lights. All this stuff is going on, and we just kind of take it for granted that it all works. But we really don't know what it would
Right.
look like if we dug underneath there. And like a city planner, they understand that right underneath me, there's different pipes, right? Why are you laughing at me, Raghunath?
It's just funny. You said city planner. It's like a Seinfeld reference.
Okay.
You got to know Seinfeld to get that joke. City planner.
Like a city planner
All
would
right,
know
Go on. Just go.
that there's pipes that are carrying the water, that there's fiber optic cables that are carrying all kind of information, that this is how the traffic lights are working and how they've been programmed, and what building in New York City this is stemming from, and they're seeing what's happening under the surface that others aren't seeing.
Sure.
And so the yogi, informed with transcendental knowledge, having reflected on it, having applied the practices, they begin to see with this vision, I see what's going on. I see that everybody's struggling with their mind, right? Struggling to find happiness based on a false sense of identity and a false identification with the mind and the body. And they're doing all kinds of actions that are in conflict with one another. Sometimes they're
Right.
good. A lot of times they're harmful, and they're creating karma, and then they're taking birth in the next body. And I can see it, right? I can see it.
And
I
the fool
get it.
can't understand it. The fool can't understand it.
They'll just say, "What are you talking about? You can't see it." Like if a city planner is saying, "No, there's cables right under us that are making that light." No, the thing's just lighting up on its own. No.
Good point. I like that analogy, sir.
Okay.
You know what I like about that verse too? The one about their group. The living entity is
Grouped around.
the
You want me to read
senses, which
that?
has the 5 senses, which are grouped around the mind. It's like we're seeing the world. I'm seeing faces and colors of people's skins, colors of people's hair, people's sizes, but you got to understand there's dogs also looking at us. What are they seeing? What is a fly seeing when it flies into the room? What is a deer or a cow, or what's the perception of a tree? Every one of those have perceptions. And this Gita mentioned, the Gita verse here is mentioning like everything is wrapped in this matter, and it has its own perception of the world. And at that moment, they all become convinced they are that lens or that view of the world, and that is what the world looks like.
Right.
And we're seeing it through our lens. And we're thinking, no, this is what the world looks like. But they're all subjective views of reality. There's not
Yes.
the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas are trying to teach us objective reality. We
That
can't
descends.
ever know objective reality unless we hear it. Isn't that unbelievable? That's why the pramana that's so important is Shabda Brahman. It's hearing transcendental truth, because we can't know. Scientists, you can try to know. This is like groundbreaking information.
There's so many ways I could go from what you're saying, that your beautiful insights are setting off in me, Raghunath. One, just you're welcome.
Me.
One of my many gifts. So I was thinking this, Raghunath. This knowledge is powerful. And when you see it, you become convinced. And when you become convinced, it changes your life. Now, this kind of jnana, this understanding that I'm not this mind, I'm not this body. When you get it at first and it clicks, sometimes what happens, and we see this a lot amongst practicing bhakti yogis. I think you and I have seen this a lot, and we've probably been guilty of it ourselves. You begin to feel like I know something you don't know. A little bit like you with your mystical thing.
A little bit like you were doing to me earlier. Like, yeah, it's in the Bhagavad Gita. I was like, no, there's other information out there too.
No,
Open your mind. That one.
Okay.
That
But
conversation we were
in
having.
other words, when I know how the world works and I see how other people are behaving foolishly, and then one begins to feel superior, and it manifests as even a kind of animosity towards those people. Like, and we hear, like, you and I think we've sat through a lot of Bhagavatam classes and Bhagavad Gita classes where it was just like a beginner devotee, an immature devotee, just kind of like railing on about how foolish materialists are.
Yeah.
When sometimes, like I'm going through YouTube and I come across something like that, I'm just like, oh, I got zero taste for this at all. It's just like
For new devotee preaching.
whether it's a new devotee or not, new in the sense that they're new in the sense that, here's my point.
Yeah.
That knowledge.
There should be some type of governor, some type of switch that doesn't allow people to put up YouTube videos if they're not
That's
realized.
not what I'm saying. I'm not speaking up for some kind of censorship. What I'm speaking up for is like a maturing of that devotion, because you see, when one has bhakti, the heart becomes soft. And when one looks at a materialist from the bhakti perspective, that same knowledge, it manifests as compassion. So when the heart is still, in other words, if when I gain this jnana, this knowledge about how the world works, how we're moving through different bodies, how the law of karma works, etc., and I can understand it intellectually, it clicks intellectually, and now I look around me at the people in the world and I think, what a bunch of idiots. Then that means I've got the jnana to some degree, but I don't have the bhakti. Because when I have the bhakti, I'm going to look at it and say, oh, how can I help? Oh, these souls are suffering. You understand what I'm saying? You getting it? Is it clicking?
I totally understand. It's like in a neophyte stage, we just see what is wrong. Don't do this. It becomes almost like the International Society for Rules and Regulations and things not to do. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. This is Maya. This is Maya. This is Maya. Well, how about what is it? What is it that is joyful? And make that the focus. The soul is meant to be joyful. And we have to, and the practice is incredibly joyful. It's generally done because people are doing restrictions and they still are attached to the enjoyment they're restricting themselves from. So they're frustrated and it comes off a little nasty or mean-spirited.
So there's that. Yeah, that mean spirit has no place in bhakti. It means that if we're hearing someone speak like that, it means likely that their heart really hasn't softened for Krishna yet. Because if it had, that same soft heart would look back at those that are struggling in this world, and rather than just speak down to them, it would feel there would be feelings of compassion. Now, another thing that I don't think we're going to get to our Bhagavatam verses today, because there's so much here to discuss.
You know what? I just love hearing your realizations.
I love hearing yours, Raghunath. I was listening to
realizations of the Bhagavatam.
I was listening to a really fascinating conversation on YouTube yesterday.
You've been listening to a lot of YouTube lately.
I do.
Okay. Tell me.
And it was these four like intellectuals. A couple of them are Christians. A couple they're sociologists. One of them was what's that guy's name? The British one who's like really got a pompous
Douglas
attitude.
Murray.
Yeah, Douglas Murray was one of them. Yeah.
I like him.
He's so pompous.
They're so mean-spirited, aren't they?
There is that in him, but he's very insightful in other ways too. So he was
super insightful.
He was one of them. Some of them were scientists that were Christians that had become scientists, and they were talking about like this whole evolution of thought in Europe and how it was influenced by Christianity, and then where we are now in the world and how it's shifted again, and what has replaced religion, you know, in the lives of many people. Like, in other words, where do people find their meaning, and so on. It was a very interesting conversation, but a lot of their conversation would fall into the areas of like, well, like what is like, for instance, they're discussing like in Judaism. One of them said, Douglas Murray said that he has a close friend that's a rabbi, or at least an Orthodox, like some kind of Orthodox. I think he said he was a rabbi, but some kind of Orthodox Jewish speaker or leader. And he said that within his own congregation, everybody's practicing Judaism, but like about 2% actually believe in God. You know, which is like an interesting.
We see that
idea.
in Judaism a lot. It becomes more of like a cultural thing.
That's right. And I think someone like Douglas Murray
which is
was
cool
actually,
because you need that culture to sort of support religion, but it just comes all about the culture, the Shabbats on whatever, Friday night or
and the way that
together for the holidays.
the context in which they were discussing it was like there became what they called the new atheists, which were like the Richard Dawkins and Hitchens and all that. They were like religious in their opposition to religion. They had like they had the fanaticism of an evangelical preacher, all the same modes of thinking and expression, just directed in the other direction.
Sure.
So now they're saying there are these new atheists, which are people like Douglas Murray, perhaps, that actually appreciate what religion brings. Like if you ask Hitchens, it brings nothing but evil and horrible things into society. Right. Religion does. Whereas someone like Douglas Murray is like, I don't really believe in your God. By the way, I want to be careful. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he believes, but I was getting that impression. But they were saying that there are people now, even intellectual, voices, the prominent ones, that they don't necessarily believe in God, but they appreciate what religion is bringing, and they recognize that without it, we're a mess. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was part of the conversation. But another part of it, even within that mature conversation, a lot of it would still come back to, like, how do we know whether God exists? And when they would go there, they're habituated, I would say, to consider empiric evidence as the conclusive evidence rather than other forms of evidence. Okay? Like, I think...
I love the fact that this is now sort of in the conversation.
Yeah, it's getting opened up. It's getting pried open.
And sort of atheists can even understand the benefits of Judeo-Christian ethics. What I don't like is when they zip right to fundamentalist Christianity as the answer, and nothing can go outside of that. And that happens a lot also with these talking heads as well. They'll go from like some political thing, and they'll bring it to Christianity, and then it's just like, that's it, right there, in a nutshell. Because my Lord said that, that's why.
But here's my point. Here's where I'm working at. And again, this is in context of our nugget, where you have Gillian, the wonderful, beautiful, lovely Gillian Anderson. right?
Insightful.
Very insightful.
And mystical, perhaps. Broad-minded.
Deeply
Looks good on
spiritual.
screen and off
I
screen.
think that's enough.
Mara's got to draw a line. and
She's probably old now.
She's younger than you. She's 57.
She's younger than me?
Yes.
Everybody's younger than me now. Sometimes I'm in India, I'm like, look at that old guy. And I was like, he's probably younger than me, actually.
So anyway, Raghunath, my point was, I'm sharing this all in the context of what she shared. Here's a person. She's likely an intelligent person, and she's has this conviction that she can't prove empirically that we are all being reborn for a purpose to learn things. She's got a deep conviction about that. Raghunath, put the phone down. I'm talking to you right now.
I'm looking at pictures of
Gillian Anderson.
You should vote down.
Yeah, I want to see how she's doing. She looks great.
But try to hear me out. We had to have a
That's enough.
conversation. Yeah, enough, Raghunath, enough. You're in Vrindavan. Please, please. Now,
And I'm appreciating a fellow spiritualist, Kaustubha.
okay.
There's many ways to be God conscious, Mister.
So she's got this conviction. And my point is that conviction is not based on empiric proof. There may be empiric data that's part of her conviction, but it's not based on empiric proof. But this assumption that real knowledge has to be established empirically, one, there's no empiric proof for that. So it's a ridiculous idea in the first, right off the bat, you know. But two, let's just get practical, right? Let's just get practical. And you know what I want to do, Raghunath?
What?
I want to. I think this would be an interesting essay to really examine, and this brings in another interesting topic, right? Murder, right? Like murder investigation.
It's always one of the
I got your attention
topics
now, right?
early in the morning on our podcast.
I got your attention. but if we took murder investigation and like maybe even famous murder investigations and saw like and began to examine how much of the proof was like empiric proof. Like in others, like there's DNA proof.
Interesting.
Right?
Now there's DNA proof. They're catching people from like 20 years ago with DNA
Right.
proof.
But how many murder convictions are based more on testimony, right?
Right.
Or based more on a logic, using logic to determine the motive, the suspect, how and when the act was occurred. You know, there are different types of evidence. Empiric evidence is one type of evidence. Testimony is another. What are all the different types of evidence? And how commonly do we develop strong convictions, even convictions to convict someone and imprison them for a lifetime or even death?
Or the death penalty just on some testimony from
On testimony.
someone with imperfect senses.
But it's
who was
strong
in
enough
the
to be beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's my point, is that to believe in God, you don't need empiric evidence that's beyond a reasonable doubt. You won't get that because you won't find it empirically. You won't find consciousness empirically. You won't find the soul within the body empirically. But there's a hell of a lot of other types of observation that can be used to help us develop that conviction, and as well as testimony, which we see, because you made this point earlier. You were talking about Shabda Pramana. The Vedantin says that actually, if you get the testimony of a really qualified witness, you get really good knowledge. Mm-hmm. And they have a conviction that the Veda is that. And then they apply their senses to understanding that and observing this world and see how it fits. And you can develop that kind of conviction, that strong kind of conviction that I am not this body, I am not this mind. Right.
Challenge. Ready?
Okay.
Challenge.
Why
does it say in the
Challenge
Bhagavad Gita then? Pratyakshagavamam dharamyam. Right? That it actually is through your empirical senses you can understand God.
At a certain stage it is, but that's only going to come after you've invested your faith in it already.
You have to enter the experiment in the first place.
With
and that
faith.
means a regulation of the senses.
Yeah.
You have to make a step forward. You have to hear from a spiritual source. You make a step forward. You have to apply spiritual practices. Make a step forward.
And just like following a map or following directions, and I think we've used this analogy before, but like say someone not from New York came here and they asked me, Kaustubha, I need to get to this place, and I said, I can tell you how to get there. It's a little tricky, but here's how you do it. You go down here, you go down this way, you go that way, and I give them a series of instructions to get to their goal. And if, as they're walking, I know exactly how to get there, and my testimony is all they need to get there. But as they're walking, if they begin to doubt whether I'm qualified or what I'm saying is true, maybe I'm trying to trick them, or maybe I don't really know. And if they begin to doubt my instructions, the possibility of them reaching the goal the more their doubt increases, the possibility of them reaching the goal starts to decrease. You understand? Because they're more likely to say, I think that's wrong. I think it's really this way. He must have made a mistake. And then they never get there. So like that, faith is important in order to get to the empiric experience in the end, where they finally arrive at the place and say, yes, I was going on his testimony, and now I see that I'm there. And the Vedantins are telling us it's like this, that you have to have faith. You may not have empiric proof, but here's the reasons for having faith, and it makes a lot of sense. Now, with that faith, begin to apply the process, follow it step by step, and in the end, you'll have the empiric experience. And then, and people say, oh, nobody's seen God. How the hell do you know that nobody's seen God?
Who the hell do you know?
What's your empiric evidence that nobody has ever seen God? That's just your own
think you are?
Man,
Total speculation.
Total speculation.
You got to have faith, as great saints of the past have said, including
George Michael.
George Michael, yes. George Michael. Some of the great acharyas and George Michael have assessed the situation and realized you need faith.
Okay, you got it.
And then you dance. And then you dance.
Okay.
Then you sing and dance about it.
I think we're ready
Okay,
for the
Mr.
takeaways.
Kaustubha, another
We never got to the
ecstatic
verses.
day in the Holy Dom. Overdon Hill. I can't believe we're here.
Claire, are there any takeaways, or are we just not even? No, not today.
Or the takeaways? Hold the music, Missy.
All the music.
I have
Clara.
a rule that I don't do takeaways when there's no Bhagavatam.
Oh,
We
wait a
do
second.
nugget
Is that in your
takeaways all the
contract? Did you hear
time.
what you just said?
We do nugget takeaways
All
I
right,
all
didn't
the
think we're
time.
paying
I
you
do
this top
some
dollar.
She
I
just
do
thought
have
she
some
could get away
takeaways.
with it.
She's like, boop. I've had a busy day. Boop. Play button.
All right,
Intimate
Mara.
dealings with God is the Braj mood.
Oh, you do have some. Okay.
Yep.
That's the project.
I do.
She does.
Some of us are in kindergarten and some of us are in grad school, but we all have our lessons to learn.
You've got lessons to learn, Kaustubha, but I love you.
Yeah.
I'm here to help. I'll help you
Okay.
progress to
But
to your next grade.
the astrologer did say that I would learn all the lessons in this life. Do you remember that? First of all, he said
You
you're a
learned them
Mukta
from
Purusha.
I don't know if that astrologer was for.
Did the
You know,
astrologer
that was
say
your
you were gonna
astrologer.
Learn your lessons from
That was
us?
But he said you're a Mukta Purusha, right, or something like that. What did he say?
I've got yoga, moksha yoga in my chart.
Moksha
baby.
yoga.
So I'm going to kick back and just let this life go.
Well, that's what
I've
we
got
said.
it
That
in
means
my
he could just
chart.
do anything. And he said, no, no, no.
Do whatever I want.
But then he said,
Astrologer
that
said I got moksha yoga. I'm not sweating this life.
he said in this life I would learn all the lessons I have to learn.
You got some lessons to learn, and I am going on
still got some
vacation
time.
because I have moksha yoga.
Okay, hey, but also I think takeaway should be review. Like, what were those 6 things again? Stealing,
Oh.
Very good.
cheating,
Chori,
Chori,
Chori, holy,
Man,
Mon and Don,
Dan,
right? Taxing,
Taxing.
and
Rasa,
and
Vilas.
anger, and rasa and vilas.
Nice stuff. I got to learn more about
Like
the
that?
Vilas, though. I want to understand that one better.
It means adventures, other than rasa. It's other adventurous things you want to do with Krishna.
Other what?
Other
other
interests.
Like, I know, carjacking. What does he do?
Yeah, that's an interest in the material world. I want a car. I want to take it from this guy. I've got weapons. That's
does
that's
that.
the type of vilas of the material world. Now, there's other things that happen with Krishna. He's got some like little crazy plans.
What
he
was that?
wants to
Grand
do.
Theft Butter or something like that?
Grand Theft Butter. Someone made a Grand Theft Auto
That was good.
with a Grand Theft Butter meme. Man. Isn't it interesting that memes are actually a type of humor now? Like, that's a meme. Did you see that meme? You send your meme. We live in such an interesting world right now.
Okay. Grand Theft Butter.
It didn't exist 8 years ago.
Did I ever
What's
tell you that
next?
story,
What's
Raghunath?
next?
I got to tell you one story.
What? Please.
So I was.
I would love
taking-
to see talk meters going on. Like, who talks more?
Interrupt
If this was 75. Okay, I'd win the interrupt because I'm trying to fight for a fair balance here. But
Raghunath,
I'd like to
you
see how much
definitely
you
get-
speak, how much I speak.
You definitely get your bare pounds. But in any
Come on.
case, I was leading some devotees on a walk through Central Park, including Srila Raghunath Swami, Srila Giriraj Swami.
You were leading them?
Yes.
Try
through
that
Central
again,
Park.
Kaustubha, but say it appropriately.
I was leading them through Central Park. And they
Say
said
it
I was the
appropriately.
punda, and I had to show them.
Okay.
And specifically, Giriraj Swami, who had spent very little time in New York, he wanted to go visit where my guru grew up on 106th Street. So we took him there. But first we were going to walk through the park. So we entered the park at 59th Street and Fifth Avenue. Raghunath, hang with me. Look, his attention span is like a gnat. You know?
I'm looking for a squirrel picture on my phone. All right, but go on.
So we entered the park at 59th Street, and literally within 25 yards of walking,
What did you see?
we saw a man sitting on a bench. And we were walking right past him. He said, "Are you guys Hare Krishnas?" And we said, "Yeah." You know, this guy's like just like a hardcore New Yorker, right? "You guys Hare Krishnas?" And he said, "Well, I got something I got to say to you."
Oh,
Like,
okay,
yeah.
here it goes.
So, you know, now Giriraj Swami said, "Oh my God, what's happening already? Like, we just got started." And
New
he goes,
York is so like that.
he goes, "That Krishna is nothing but a butter thief." Like, where
That's
this
it.
came from. That was it. That's all he said to us. And we're like, yes, it's true. All right. Grand Theft Butter. Who can understand?
I don't understand. That's it? That's the whole story?
That's it.
I
That's
like
isn't
that
that enough? Is that not enough for you?
I
That's
like
the
it.
topmost, my friend. Muckanchor.
That's right. He's nothing but a butter thief.
Maybe that should be Mara's name.
Butter thief.
Muckanchor.
Mara's like,
She's like, please no. Please no. Muckan Lali.
Muck and
The
love.
butter baby girl.
Butter girl.
Butter girl.
All right, should we get back to some takeaways? I got a
Yeah.
couple more.
Oh, you got more. Okay, Mara.
Raghunath would love that, though, if that were your name. He
Muck and
would be-
Lolly?
He would be in
He would love
ecstasy. He'd be
that
like,
so much.
yes.
Hey, Muckan Lali.
When one is bhakti, the heart is soft.
That's right. Like butter.
Soft like butter.
A mean spirit has no place in bhakti.
Mean
place.
spirit has no place in bhakti. No, that, by the way, pointing fingers at people and shaking them, that's mean spirit.
No, it's not. This is protective. This is like, please don't go there. You're just misinterpreting because your consciousness is clouded with mean spirit.
No, pointing is bad. I don't care what you say.
I'm not pointing. I'm going like this.
All
Wagging.
right, back to our takeaways.
Don't wag that finger at me. I'll bite it. You're like, he does it. He puts it right in the camera too, like some evil wand.
All right. Without God, we're a mess. And
And
how the hell do you know nobody's seen God?
that's
How
right.
the hell do we know? Speculation. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks to Live crew. Haribo. Thanks to Govardhan Hill. Oh, thank you, Govardhan Hill.